All right, so that's going to be our concept for today, and then let's pivot back to you. I haven't updated this in some time. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have seven. Seven is today, and then your rating you said was 2740, like that.
No, 2746.
Got to get it right. Yeah, 2746. Okay, and then how many puzzles have you done?
Uh,
10,000 is kind of a cool number, by the way. I don't know if you ever heard of that number before, but it's known to be like the amount of hours that you need to spend to become a master at something.
oh, 10,000?
Yeah, you're almost at 10,000.
Yep, I have 9,371. So I
Okay,
did
cool.
30.
Yeah, I did 30. Very nice. Okay, so high five. Kapow! Nice. Yeah, and you did 30 in 7 days. So that's terrific. Like if you just do that exact same thing for, like a good long while, oh my gosh, you're gonna become incredible at puzzles. But also chess tempo. Did you do any puzzles there?
I did like three.
Three, only three. That's better than nothing. That's good. I haven't really made a little column yet for the chess tempo thing. Let's At one point in time you had a peak rating above 2800.
For chess puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I I was gonna work on some other stuff, but if you want, an interesting option is that we could try to get to 3,000 together.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Would that be good?
Yep.
It's a bit of a risk because it may equate to like me kind of solving them for you, but you may like it a lot. It's a bit of a risk. What do
Oh,
you at?
why would it be a risk?
Well, because
Like
it
not
may be
learning
a
anything?
flop. Yeah, it may be a flop because at that level of puzzles, I'd have to think pretty quietly while I work on it. Um, so maybe how about if we try that at the end? That way, if it's a flop, we don't have to we won't do it again next time.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So I'll make a little note here. So I'll say 50 to 60 is try out going for 3K rating, and then see if it's a helpful activity. Because I just don't know if it's going to be or not. Um, However, what I do know is going to be a hit would be the fine and dandy, totally wonderful BM excerpts. Dun, dun, dun. So my lesson plan, like I said, is to do this kind of thing right here. So we have 10 until I kind of want to talk about it for a while, if that's all right. I was thinking like 40 would be this here. And then let's see here. We'll go 40 until 50 is like game review.
Yeah, that sounds good.
This plan sound good? Cool. Yeah, for this style of lesson to work, like it's helpful if you're on board for it. So not too much choice in this. Usually I like to give you options and say, do you want to do this or this? Today, no choice. We're just gonna do this one right here. Okay, again, humor me if you would. So can you read back this part here? The big theme?
Effortful thinking and importance of clarity.
Yay. What do you expect that's gonna be about? What do you think I'm gonna be teaching?
Like how to think about moves clearly.
Cool, cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what's a way that we have been learning that?
Uh,
Two ways. There's
Candid
BM.
moves.
There's BM, right, that we were doing, and then what's
Yeah.
the other like super advanced activity we were doing?
Uh,
Puzzle battle, chess tempo puzzle battle, right?
oh, oh yeah.
So the usual way for me to teach, how to think effortfully. One thing that you'll notice about a lot of these examples is that it sort of provides further and further evidence that you really need to be thinking hard about your moves, and it's so easy to mess up and play the wrong move at times. Right here, let's start out with this one right here. This is a bit of a curveball. Why is bishop to c6 a fantastic move?
If the wait, let me think. C6. If the rook takes, it's not going to be defending e8. So when you push the rook up for back ring checkmate, the knight will defend and they'll get captured. And if the and if they do nothing, The same thing will happen.
Excellent. Harder question here. What is black's best move? They're definitely losing. So it's just like try to contain the fire basically. If you can explain black's best move here, then you really know the puzzle. Show me your understanding of this one. I'll play the move too, so a little bit easier. It's a confusing question, right?
Yeah, what's
I
black's best move?
I kind of want it to be that way. It's a thinker.
Yeah.
It's intentionally a little bit confusing.
King H7.
I'm sorry.
King H7.
King H7 cannibalism. Let's not
Oh
get
no no,
crazy or
pawn
anything.
H7. Pawn H7.
Pawn H7, little somersault, and then to pawn H6.
Oh
I had it right
H6.
the first time. That's the thing I thought you meant. Okay, so pawn h6. I think this is a good answer indeed. I would say maybe a little bit more resilient is this one right here. And again, like this is kind of a resignable position for black. But I would say if I was playing black and I was like, I gotta win this one, and maybe my opponent's in time pressure, and it's like a blitz game or something, I would go, well, let's maybe like get some active king going. So here, check, this one comes up, and then it would take right here, and then of course, yeah, black's definitely losing. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if I like this because it looks like the knight could maybe cause us some issues, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like here or something. Cool. So I gave you a confusing curveball question because you did so well at understanding that bishop to c6 move. Now, though, I kind of taught this in like a reverse order, but now let me explain it how I usually do. So this is an example of a pure tactical blow, where the remainder of the combination need not be stated. This is super rare, and I kind of messed up by showing you the answer on accident, because there's so few of puzzles like this that I usually try to have students guess what the answer is because it's a fun one. So think about that again. Like the rest of the combination need not be stated. Ironically, I asked you to state the rest of it to make sure you understood what was happening. But like if this was a chess.com puzzle, the puzzle would end on this move because it would be kind of silly for them to say, like, oh, so you got bishop c6, but after h6, now do you know what to do? It's like, well, I mean, if I found this move, yeah, I definitely know what to do here. So like the puzzle would just end at this moment. So it'd be a one move puzzle. So do you see what I'm saying about how rare that is?
Yeah.
Cool. What's a moment in a game where like just one brutal move prompts resignation? Queen loss, for example, right? So
Yeah.
that's loosely similar to a tactical blow where it's just one single move. It's not a string of moves. It's like, oh, got your queen. But it's supposed to be unorthodox. This is definitely an unorthodox move. What makes this move unorthodox?
It doesn't seem like it does anything, but it actually is really good.
Kind of. You're about there.
And the move just like it looks strange
It looks strange. Why?
because it's just moving the bishop to be captured.
Excellent. For contrasting purposes, what would be a way more natural, like orthodox looking move?
Like bishop at d5,
No, knight
getting
knight d5.
oh yeah,
Central
knight.
outpost for the knight. Leave the bishop in his little home right here. So I would say in this position, pretty much anything other than here is like a pretty cheeky attempt to I don't know, make things interesting. So that is how a tactical blow works. Conversely, let's look at this one right here. I don't know if you've seen this example before or not, but it's kind of funny, so I'd like to show it again. This is a pure combination. In this one here, there is not a single move that strikes you as like weird or unorthodox. And there's a lot of different combinations that I could use to prove that point. But this one right here really caught my fancy. It was played by Capablanca in like 1925 and in this really amusing way. Have you seen this one before? Do you remember this?
I don't think I remember it.
Okay, check this one out. So he goes like this, and now he's attacking the rook, and he goes over here, and his plan is just to move the knight in a circle to get it to take a5. Is that awesome or what, huh?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Right? So we go like this, circle is complete, and now we got this guy right here. Okay, so that was a string of moves. There was no sacrifice. There was no like, huh, wait, so you're not going to defend against that? There was no, any of that, It was just all attacking the rook and moving the knight into position. So, do you see the vast difference? One shocking move, string of logical moves. Terrific. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna go click on this one next. Hopefully, I don't give away the answer. Ah, yeah, here we go. A pure combination. So this is another one just like the last one where there's no single move that really strikes us as unorthodox or exciting or weird or whatever. It's just a plain and simple plan. We're just gonna like win the rook. The author actually taught this in like a reverse like taught this differently, and I don't like it. Like he taught this way, which is a cool tactical blow. It sacrifices the pawn, and then after you go here, then the knight comes in, and then you get this nice little fork, and so you pick up the knight at the end of it. That would still work. On that note, so we're really going deep. We're like building your tactical understanding because you're really good at puzzles. So these are things that like you wouldn't know otherwise, basically. So, or like you wouldn't be thinking of. So in a chess.com puzzle, this puzzle would have two solutions because you can also do it this way. And so it would have two solutions, meaning that it would not be a puzzle on chess.com. They would never have one like this, because if you can solve it in more than one way, then the puzzle is considered cooked. Have you ever heard of that term before?
Uh, I'm not in the way you're. Yeah, I'm probably thinking of it
Well, now you have to explain. What are you thinking of it as?
as like a slang term for screwed.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. I get what you mean. Yeah, I guess in chess, like I feel like no one uses it that way because it's reserved. I could be just kind of making this up, but it's kind of reserved for puzzles. So yeah, a puzzle that's cooked is where there's more than one answer. So generally it's like frowned upon to have it that way. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, so now conversely in a game you might have a position like this, right?
yeah,
So you'd have to like just basically make up your mind and go like, which one of those ways do I want to do it? Well, I would err on the side of just like the most forcing. So when you do the check, and then you bring in the knight first, like this. By the way, this also works. So there's even like more solutions and ways to do it that don't even involve getting the rook, but rather going for the knight right here. This puzzle is totally cooked. Is it instructional? Heck yeah, it's super instructional because this will come up in a game where you have that kind of choice. But clearly, not clearly, but I would say that for me personally, I would say this is the most convincing because there's just not a lot they can do about that. Like the rook is just simply going to get trapped. Now it can, move over this way or move over this way, but the knight is going to beautifully guard this, a4 pawn as we push the b pawn, and then we get the rook. So the knight is actually kind of a beautiful attacking force in this one, just effortlessly trapping the rook with combination with these pawns right here, and then these rooks are just on the sideline and had nothing to even do with any of that. So yeah, pure combination right there. This guy comes back and then takes. No shocking moves. We could have played it a different way, like I'm summarizing here. We could have played it a different way where we did the sacrifice first, and then it would be a combination that consists of a tactical blow and a string of moves. For the most part, tactics have both exciting, weird moves and a string of moves. It's usually both of those. So just so you know, I'm going to continue. Okay. Um, Tactical blows can also occur in the middle of a combination. Challenge for you here. I want to see if you can solve this one in like 90 seconds. I'd be super impressed. You ready?
yep.
All right. And so also, I want you to kind of use like the toaster approach a little bit. So if you think you know the first move, you can, in the second move, the third move, whatever, you can just say it. Your challenge is, can you get this one in 90 seconds? I'm going to set up a stopwatch. I would awesome estimate your odds of success at about 50%. Good luck, Ben. Costa. What's the first move?
Uh,
Go, go, go.
ooh,
First move.
Queen A8, Queen A8,
Nope. Queen C6.
C6.
40 seconds.
Mm.
And time. It's tough,
Uh,
right? It's like, how do you make it work? You got
yeah.
any guess? Yeah.
Knight D8.
Good try. Doesn't quite do it. If you go here, the queen's gonna just go like perpetual check all day long.
Oh,
So each move has to be check. But it's like, huh, how do you make it work? Okay, let me give you a big hint, and then you try again for a minute. Ready? Here's your hint. It's gonna involve a knight fork. You're gonna set it up to where you fork these guys.
mm,
1 minute. Ready, set, go.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
Queen D6,
Yes.
and then uh, if the king goes to C8, you go back up with the queen to push. You go back up the queen to D8, and then oh, I thought that was a fork.
If you can give the
No,
knight a little hat, I mean the queen a hat. It's a knight hat. You're almost there. You're almost there. You can do this. Last chance. 45 seconds. Go, go, go. Think, think, think. Effortful thinking, right?
yeah.
Time. What you got?
Knight C5.
Good guess. Good try. He just goes king c6 and there's no follow up.
Oh,
So you do want to get this knight right here. So here's the thing. Any normal move where you set that up, where you move your queen somewhere like normal, to do this, they're gonna stop us. Can you give us an example? Can you give me an example?
of what?
Like a normal move, because if you just move, I mean, like a straightforward way to do this is go, oh, I know, I'll just like retreat, and then I'll go right here, right? That would be a normal attempt. Why does the straightforward attempt not work?
Because they could just move the queen out of the way. They're not being forced to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so where would be a good spot for the queen, you think? That's a little bit tougher to answer than I thought it would be. Maybe queen d7, right? No, not that, not there. That'd be knight c5. Uh, what would be a good move here for black? I know. I'll just mysteriously look in a corner and use my grandmaster skills to. Oh yeah, queen e8. Yes, 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 yes. Definitely didn't look at the engine to figure that one out. Yes, yes, yes. He actually has more than one good move. It's there's like 5 different possibilities the computer says for how they can get out of this. The opportunity to win some stuff has closed. So this would be a big mess up. You don't want to go here. But if we can somehow move the queen to somewhere cool and then play right here, that could work really well. Here's what we're going to use: a tactical blow. What makes this tactical blow tougher to see is that it doesn't begin, the combination doesn't begin with a sacrifice. Like point in case on this move right here, it's kind of easier to see that you want to go queen takes g7 because it's like, oh, bam, tactical blow right at the start, and then you have this like grand finish. It's a little bit like rarer and less intuitive to see a tactical blow occur on move number 3 or move number 4. Using that as your guide, what do you think is the move now? You're looking for an unorthodox move that sets up knight to d8. And if you are stuck, Ben, what do you do? What's the magical solution anytime you're stuck on a puzzle?
Look for every forcing move.
Almost. You go back to your roots and you look at what is just my most active move. Even if it's horrible, just what is my most active move? What's my second most? What's my third most? You'll be amazed how well this works. What is your most active move here?
Queen takes b6.
Nailed it. Okay. Follow up question: is it a good move?
No,
Why?
because the pawn could just take back.
And then we have knight d8 and we win the queen.
Wait.
Da 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 da
Oh
da da
yeah.
da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
So if the pawn takes, we win this guy. It gets even more beautiful than that. If the king takes, right? Because that's sort of the test, is like, well, now this doesn't work. Check this out. A5, we have ourselves a mating net. If they move over to C6 or B7, kapow, we won the queen. But what about A6? Checkmate. Game over. Cool, cool. All right. So if you would just read that back to me. Tactical blows.
Can occur in the middle of a combination.
You got it. I'm going to continue to talk about this stuff for 10 more minutes. Let's get more confusing. This one is, I get that this, I wrote a little thing about this. I get that this example is a neat grand finale prior to the next subheader within the book. Basically, this example marks the end of chapter 1, but in my opinion, this example should have been featured sooner to help define a reasonable range of what a tactic can look like. It's the only example in chapter 1 where the reader most likely cannot fully comprehend everything in one sitting. You know what the best move is here? 10 guesses. That's how many you get.
Uh,
Not looking for quality, just a random guess. Just whatever you got. Do them fast.
Queen and not rook c7.
Rook c7, little somersault. Rook here. You got to get better with your squares, bud.
Oh, you're playing as white.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, rook a2.
So to review, we're going this way. They're going this way. Thumbs up. Okay.
Rook
Rook
a2.
a2. Okay. You have 9 more guesses.
Rook f2.
Nope. 8 more guesses. Come on, guess f7, right?
f7.
Strike. 7 more guesses left.
Hey, you can't do that. Rook b1.
Rook b1. Nope. That was 4 guesses. You have 6 guesses left. I want you to purely guess because it's pretty hard.
Rook b6.
Nope. 5 guesses left. It's a move where you're going to go, huh? It's so strange looking.
Uh, king f5.
Nope. Keep going.
Rook h7.
See, rook h7?
Not rook h2.
Rook h2? Nope. Did you give up?
Rook D2.
Nope.
Yeah, I give up.
Wow.
I was, I was close.
Yeah, you were. You were. Yeah. Yeah. So good job. High five. You got a lot of guesses with the rook. Uh-huh. All right. So let's kind of reverse engineer this. What are the possible roles for this rook? What are the possible things this rook can do? Well, one thing it can do is it can sacrifice itself for this pawn. Another that it can do is, like just eat the pawn, which is kind of the same category. Another thing it can do is blockade the pawn, so it can sit in front of it while the pawn is going down, right? What else can it do? It can help the advance of this pawn by creating it like a bit of a blockade, to where the rook can't sacrifice itself for this pawn. It can help support the pawn, right? A lot of different things here. It helps support the pawn like this. If we need some help covering like f8, say the rook's on a8, it can do that. But the other thing it can do is restrict the activity of the king. This one is really counterintuitive because you would go, really? There's like 80 other way more interesting offensive things, and you're telling me we're going to restrict the activity of the king. It looks really, really random. But here's the thing. Pawn to f7 doesn't work. Let's see why. They take, we go here, king to c4. This is why it's important to cut off the king, because if they're that close, that's a draw. If our king is over here, sure, we can win that, but here we're going to have to do a little bit of a kamikaze and give ourselves up for that pawn. So that's how that one would end, right? So it's just a draw. Another try would be something like rook to a2, because that looks at least more purposeful. It's like, okay, well, at least we're in front of it, right? Well, no, because they still just get their king in really fast, and so that's the big problem. And so that doesn't work there. What about some other tries? How about like rook to e2? What about cutting off their king from the pawn that we're trying to promote, right? So if we do it this way, then they can go king to c4. And then after this, we try rook to e7, a plan I mentioned earlier, like with the rook, right? Well, here, okay, now that it looks this is the kind of answer you would expect. You would think that this is like the thing here. It just doesn't quite work. What can black do now to put up a fight? There's only one good answer.
Mm, push the pawn.
Okay. Rook sack? I don't think so, because in this case we still have our pawn. So sure, they get our rook for this guy, but since we retain the pawn, it doesn't really matter so much. In fact, they don't even get to the queen and square. Blunder. Try again. They are not
Yep.
toast. They're not cooked, right? Is our earlier term. They're
Yeah.
not cooked. How do they fight here?
Rook A6.
Bingo. What's that do?
It pins the pawn to the king.
Exactly. As it turns out, it's now a draw because we're going to see that kamikaze effect again, or desperado is the more technical term for it. And then then we're going to have to sack our rook. So I don't need to show the rest of this one. Surely you understand that theme by now. Other thing we do is pawn to f7 perhaps, and just go, all right, well, how about if we push it now so your king's not over here? Does this work? It's like, okay, let's just look at what the answer is all about. Rook to c2. You go this way, and this is the big point of this chapter is that sometimes tactical blows are like weird. It's because at this point, when you think of a tactical blow, you're thinking mainly of like a sacrifice, right? For the most part, yeah, it's a sacrifice. Like usually it's like you give up your rook for a knight, or you put your queen on a square where they can take it because it's made in three. It's something like that. However, that's a little bit too narrow. So I use this one as an example to go like you don't know everything about tactical blows. You think you do, but you don't. That's what this one's about. Let's continue. After right here, they go king to e6. An interesting try here is they can go like this. They can go rook to a6. Okay, so we saw this work really well before, but how is this going to make a difference? Let's check it out. If they go right here and then now they take this kamikaze like what worked before, their king is not close enough. So if we were playing bullet, you think you could beat me here if you were playing white? No way, because that would get you on time. It's hard to make with a rook. But if it was like G10, could you win? Of course you
Yeah.
could, right? Piece of cake. Piece of cake, because you're gonna, this pawn's doomed. Like the king maybe tries to get a little bit closer like this, right? They go like this, and then now we go and just go kapow. Rook A2. Notice it doesn't help to bring in the king. The king is not part of this really. Um, so the trick is that you can attack this guy and they're two squares away. Huge difference. Huge difference of the two squares away because they can't defend it. So they can like push it and then we go chomp. Yay. All right, so we're finally seeing a line where we win. Let's look a little bit further. Rook to a7, we go pawn to f6, and then what if they challenge our pawn? They go like this. Which way do you go? Well, not with the more obvious move rook to e2, but actually with this one, supporting the pawn and covering it, providing some defense, and then we're like, okay, so now we just go here, right? Nope. Again, we're going to use this. We're going to do the same thing we did with the rook before. We're going to use the rook to restrict the activity of their king. How would we do that here? This is actually an easy question.
Rook c2.
Well, that would repeat moves, but you're close. We want to keep it on the F file. Easy, easy. Let's go.
Rook f3.
F4.
F.
So we're cutting off the king, and this move turns out to be critical. Note that if you go like this, that ain't going to work. They take here, you go this way, and they're close enough, right? There's only one square difference right here. So we got to keep that two square margin in our favor here. So after this, now what are they going to do? Well, they're going to push this pawn because they're like, how are you possibly going to ahead of you now? No, they're not. We're one square away. We win this race. We can't do it just yet because we're in this pin, but notice they're still sealed off, and so that's going to show itself to be important here rather quickly. Now, wait a second. Couldn't they just do a kamikaze right now? A little desperado? Nope. Again, we take. They're 2 squares away. And they go, here we go with this. Okay, so instead they push the pawn. They go like this. Queen to f8. Now they queen this guy. It's our turn first. Again, like with or not again, but to make a new point, um, when you get a queen in the end game, it's just completely OP, which as far as I know is kind of a video game term, right? Like OP. But it's really a good way to describe it. It's totally overpowered because it's like there's nothing else really that's that strong on the board. So if you get a queen, it usually will like prompt resignation if you're like 2 moves ahead of it than they are. But this one's close because they also have an OP character, this queen over there on d8. But still, it remains true. Like just that one tempo difference. Like whoever turn it is to move is winning because the OP queens. It's our turn. We're winning. We go like this. It's game over. We don't even need to say the rest of it. There's a checkmate happening there. Faux show. Let's continue with this move. After king e6, you know what the move is here? You think you know tactical blows. Let me show you, you do not. Rook to c6? Nuh-uh, pal, here. Is that not the most confusing move you've ever seen or what?
That is really confusing.
Right? The whole point of this one is that I'm like trying to confuse you to maintain some curiosity about it because that does not look like a good move. That's a tactical blow. Okay, what makes this move unorthodox?
It doesn't seem like it does anything at first.
Yeah, right. We're talking about a race. We got these OP queens we're talking about, and we got to do this fancy maneuver to save one tempo, and we're gonna play this. What? So that we're about to have tension on the pawn? What is it? This is bananas. Well, hold on. Let's look at it this way. What if we try the more straightforward move? We do this. Okay, so then they take, and then sure we can win the rook like this, but they're too close. Doesn't work. Okay, what if we give check? It doesn't do anything because they just come back to e6, right? Like going back to rook c1, that's the confusing thing about rook c1 is that sure you restrict the king's activity to like do advance their own pawn, but they can attack our pawn. So it really doesn't seem very efficient use of the rook. But as we will see, it most certainly is. When the pawn comes to a3, we've now established tension on the pawn. So when we push here, although it seems like we just wasted a tempo, the opposite is true. We made excellent use of that tempo. Now it's a one game. Break it down for me. Why are we winning right now? It's over.
Uh,
Say goodnight. Better luck next time. They're done.
if they sacrifice the rook, then we could take their rook. We can get to their rook, and the king can't defend the pawn, so we can take
Give me
both of
moves.
them.
Give me moves. If Rook takes f7 right now, what are you going to play as white?
If rook takes f7, then rook e3
King
to
d5.
rook e5.
King d5. Stick with me. If here, you're saying here, right?
Yeah,
King d5.
You take the rook,
King takes, okay, and then king c4.
and then you take the pawn.
Bingo. High five. Kapow. Did I succeed in my goal of confusing you about tactical blows?
Yes.
Very good, very good. I want I want this one to be tricky because it helps you maintain that curiosity about it. Because it's not as simple as just, oh, anytime you sacrifice material. Sometimes it's this. I mean, the rationale for this should now kind of make some sense, but I mean, I've thought it's won a million times. I don't know if I would really have won this end game or something similar. So let's see another line. They do take this way. This is the main line of it, as we just saw. So we get this guy. There's another try for them. What if they push the pawn first so we can't jettison our own? Well, then we get this OP queen situation I was talking about before, where it's our move first. We give check. There's a discovery happening. They're toast. They're dead meat. We're going right here. They got doom a coming their way because they're gonna get checkmated. So that's the lesson of this one right here. What do you think? Is this fun? Learn lots of stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. And good news, we still have plenty of time. So next I wanted to look at maybe like one of your games. Um, what was a cool tactical game that you had as of late?
Let me check.
I will check too.
I think I got lucky with some of these games since they blundered.
Could be. Show me a game that took some effortful thinking, where there was at least one moment where you had a really hard decision.
Okay, let me see. No, no. Can also be one where like I could have shown effortful thinking.
Sure.
Uh, I think I found one.
Yay. All right. So which one is it? You can send me the URL.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. And then while I load it up there, I'll show you kind of how this works. I think you're kind of familiar with it, but I just wanted to show you all the same here. So we're going to go back like this. We'll go to analysis, and then I'm going to go share. We'll grab it like so. Then I go copy. And then this one has markings in it, I believe. I think it may contain the oh, that's right. So if I click on this, then it'll include those extra notes of like what was better and that type of thing. Yeah, we'll include that. Why not? All right, so let me go here, copy all of this stuff and put it on over this way. Here. Okay. Go bliss. You're playing white?
I'm playing black.
All right, game begins. D4. And you do this stuff here. Nice, nice. A little more advanced. Take on the London. So then after right here, you get being catted. Hey, nice. So you've been doing the King's Indian.
Yeah.
How do you like it so far?
It's pretty good because like it look why is it's harder for them to attack you.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, good job doing it. High five. Keep on doing it. Yeah, it's a good opening. Queen to c2, rook to e8. I don't know if I like this move so much, but we'll roll with it. I'm gonna open this up on a new tab over here to my right so I can kind of keep an engine going, and then I can pretend I'm a grandmaster and know know everything about everything. Why did it not catch up on the move there? Strange. Rook e8, and then if I go here, shouldn't it be keeping us in sync? What gives? Oh, here we go. Yeah, keep everyone in the same position. This setting allows it to be the same. Okay, so after this way, sorry. Okay, rook e8. What do we think of that move? Rook e8's fine. Um, so after scanning it with my Grandmaster X-ray vision, I've decided that actually there was something a little bit better. You, of course, don't have X-ray vision, so you'll have to work at it. It's this move actually tagging this bishop.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's gonna be more to it because like if it backs up, it's like, do you want to take it right away? Do you not? We'll defer discussion of that. It's not gonna be like a super simple plan, but it's something to be aware of. This knight can challenge this bishop. Yeah, if they go, let's look at one line. So if right here, then we want to go pawn to e5. So we actually don't even need this rook. So it's not so good to bring the rook to e8 in the position that you did. A lot of times it's actually more relevant for it to help with the push of like the F pawn, as it turns out. So be wary of going here. That's oftentimes like a little bit improper. I think would be the right term for it. Okay, so after e5, then they go like this. And are we going to take this bishop? We could, we may, we could also do some other things. The thing is, I found that if you're going to go for the bishop in a practical game like with blitz and everything, the problem is that they don't have anything to think about. They're like, okay, if you take my bishop, you take my bishop. I'm just gonna keep developing. Maybe I'll castle this way, maybe this way. Whereas for you to have to keep regularly weighing the pros and cons of taking this is gonna cause you to be in time pressure. So what I recommend is if even if they have the rook right here and it's like a G10 game, then just take it and figure out how you're going to make that work a bit later. Now that's a bit risky advice because that can definitely cost you a game, but at the very least it should be instructional to like now know that that's a common way you could lose. So you could just it's like you could lose a lot of time weighing that. If you're going to attack the bishop, then attack the bishop and take it. As it turns out, it is perfectly fine right here. Of course, this would be a bad move. You're actually doing excellent in this position here. And why would that be? Why is this a bad move?
The king is weak,
No,
and the pawn and the rook isn't open.
the rook isn't open. Yeah, we got their powerful dark square bishop. And remember, so ours just got supercharged. If there's not an upside for them, it's definitely hugely in our favor. But I mean, who's really going to take away from the center? This is the move we would expect, right? So what do we do next? We just keep on developing. Queen to e7, we go like this, and then let's say they castle queen side. They're actually not really in a good position to do that. What we're going to do next is activate our rook. Our sleeping rook says, "Hey, I can help out with this." So we go here, and then they can't really use this file all that much. Notice that the knight can't like jump into g5 or anything. Let's say they try to go here with the plan of this and then taking on h7. What do you do now?
Mm,
Easy puzzle. Double time.
Bishop f6.
No. What? No. No. This bishop for this
Oh,
knight?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tisk, 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 tisk. Hold out your hand. Hold out your hand. Slap. No. Don't give up this bishop for this knight. Bad. Try again. Simple pawn fork. We're just going to win a piece. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hustle. Win a piece.
E e4.
Yeah, the E4 squares like this, and then they come in right here, and we say, yeah, you can take my pawn. Do your worst. So they do their worst, and then we go, cute pal. We take out this guy. What's happening next? They go like this, and we go, yeah, your knight looks scary and all that. That's great, good for you. Rookie 8, I'm up the exchange. You're going down. So that's the way to play it right on over there. So it's just not so easy to attack you as it turns out. So In the future, I don't like rook e8. I like this plan, and then advance these pawns. Make sense?
Yeah.
Rook e8, castles, and then you go pawn to e5. Good job. High five. That is an important move if if you brought the rook over, it's like you may as well. Here, bishop to g5, and then you go h6. It seems fine. They take, which is forced. Queen takes is good. Okay, good development. Um, Queen c6. Yeah, I like this move too. Yeah, you're gonna like the King's Indian. Yeah, you're gonna like it for a long time, I think. So then after here, now we also see kind of a drawback of bringing out this rook. Um, like in the Italian opening, after you castle, you pretty much always want to go rook to e1. The King's Indian is not like that. You want to be careful about moving it. So now you have to move it like this, and you did. I like this fanciful touch, keeping the rook on the e file while you do it. That was nice. After right here, now you go knight to c5. Another good move. High five. Wow. Then they go rook to d8 check. We ain't afraid of that. It comes up this way, and then now they make a mistake with this move. Why is that a bad move?
Hmm.
They just lost a rook. That's why.
Uh,
And
maybe.
Mr. 2800 puzzle rating, did you see it?
Oh yeah. Oh, I played the move in the game.
You did say it. Yeah. High five.
Yeah.
Wow. Picking up a rook. So like we're discussing tactical stuff that's like, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 to like 1,300 points higher level than this kind of stuff, right? So I can kind of see what you mean about like your opponents are just blundering. I I got to see a game where you lost to figure out what's going wrong because you played amazing in this one and just totally outclassed them with these tactics here. How do you lose games? What's going wrong? Because I see a lot of
Uh,
stuff going right here.
I'm not sure.
They go like this, and then you go knight e4. Beautiful. I like this. So you're attacking the queen, kind of harassing this further, and then after right here, then okay, they're not losing the rook. Okay, I guess it wasn't that simple. Because they can protect it, but you have a huge lead in development now. And then right here blows it. So yeah, you got all these active pieces. Active pieces mean good things. This is improper use of the rook. Should have gone this way. Okay, so I guess like one trick is just pay attention to what you're doing with that F rook. Kind of misused it multiple times. Rook to e8. Yeah, if you go like this, I think you're threatening mate and the queen. So that's GG. Rook e8, queen to h4, queen takes c4. Nice. And then you go here. That's a blunder. Why is it a blunder? Oh, because you could have. I don't know. You could start trading pieces here. For all of my praise and excitement and enthusiasm for complicated chess, like with these BM stuff and talking about these fanciful moves, at the end of the day, you do want to like just go for simplicity, right? Like the importance of clarity. You go like this, and you're gonna be trading off queens, so it becomes a lot
Oh,
clearer a
I
lot sooner.
thought that was a queen blunder when I saw it in the game since I forgot that I was defending it.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, go for simplicity there. And so you go like this, G5. Yeah, you're gonna love you're playing the King's Indian well. Yeah, so this is the type of opening where if you don't play it well, then I would go, hey, let's talk about a different one. This is totally your jam. So high five, pow, keep on playing it. You have a good feel for how to do this one. Queen to G3. Okay. And then you win the queen. All right, let me just see one game over here. So this is one you lost. So in that one, you played like amazing. So I'll just change the title of this. Played in all caps. Oh, amazing. And then we'll get like a star-eyed emoji, star-eye emoji. Right? I mean, that was some good play. So now I have to know when you lose, what is going wrong? Because I don't understand. All right, here, you go like this, and then bishop to c4, cool. This move, d6, which is dubious. So then you go here, okay, nice. Takes, they scooch on back, and then you go d5. I believe this is a good move. This position is pretty tough to play out. For like intermediate players, I notice because you want to it's tough to know how to use your advantage right here. Of the seven different imbalances, right? There's like superior minor piece, material, and all that. The one you have here is space. So you have a space advantage. That's one of the hardest ones I find for Scholastic players to know how to use. It's have you heard of space before?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. And so that is indeed what you have right here. I have a counting system for this. Here's how you can measure how much more space you have. One, two, three, four. One, right? So you have 4 units of pawn moves, whereas they have one. Ta-da! Interesting, right? To my knowledge, there's not a better way of evaluating it, and that's been working for me. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's like 8 to 11 or something. So 4 to 1, that's a big space advantage. D5, this looks a little bit improper. I think it's fine though. They go like this. That's definitely not the right move. So now you go and attack them. Yeah, big things you don't want to trade pieces. So how about just scooch this on back? Why not go here and then just go? Cool. What are you gonna do with your knight? So like when you have a space advantage, when you have a space advantage, just like two things. One is like don't trade, and then two is like patiently build. All right, humor me if you would. Repeat that back to me.
Oh, when you have a space advantage, don't trade and patiently build.
Perfect. So when you go here, this strikes me as a bit impatient because now it's like, well, they're gonna block with their bishop, so now you have to do a trade, you know. And so then you go like this. Well, this is also kind of blowing it because now you're just attacking him too soon. D5 is interesting. This is fine. I think that more often than not, you want to like err on the side of development and also avoiding trades. Tougher question for you. This one's this one's tough because it's really dissimilar from other questions. How do you prevent them from making a trade here? You got this.
Hassling?
Caston is like the second best move. Here's what they're trying to do. Bishop G4. They're trying to do that so they can do a trade, and it gets worse. They're also going to undermine your D pawn. I've seen students have this position a lot of times, and that's the thing that a lot of students fail to notice is that you really have to be mindful of like the fact that you could lose these pawns. So you have to wield them patiently and play stuff like this. Seems pretty slow, yeah. It's not as active and robust as this stuff here, but that's what's happening. So let's continue. After d5, this comes up this way. You go here, and then this whole plan, I just don't like it. Should have gone h3 and just slowly build. Would you like to see an example of that, or do you want to look at the rest of the game? We have about 2 minutes.
I'll look at the example of this.
Okay, cool. So you want to see like how you could win with h3?
Yeah.
Perfect. Here's how we're gonna do it. I'm going to stop my share. I want you to share your screen.